Welcome to Navigating the Doctoral Journey's Quick Tips and Strategies, a series that provides you with tips and strategies to cross the finish line. I am Dr. Amanda Rockinson, and I'm glad you're here. In this episode, we are going to focus on the dissertation, and more specifically, the literature review process. A successful literature review begins with understanding its purpose and how to organize it to fulfill that purpose. Without organization and an understanding of its purpose, you are likely to end up with a literature review that is a summary of your reading. It's likely to read like a book report. With organization and purpose, your manuscript is structured around themes, making the study's necessity visible to the reader through your clear, concise argument. The good news is that you can learn about the purpose of the literature review, and organization is a skill that can be learned. Let's first discuss the purpose of the literature review. First, it identifies the problem or problems. That is, through your review, you explain unresolved problems, contradictions, or gaps in the literature. You discuss what other authors suggest is needed for future research. Second, you set the context, placing your voice and your study within the broader scholarly conversation. You discuss how your study relates to what others have said and done. Third, you justify your study, showing why your research is needed now. You explain the "so what, who cares" of your study. Fourth, you show originality. Justify your study, making your contribution visible and clear, noting how it extends past research or addresses a problem within your practice. Fifth, frame the discussion. Define key concepts, theories, and variables that are relevant to your study. Finally, provide groundwork for your methodology and analysis. Establish the basis for your methodology and analysis decisions, which you will further justify in your methods chapter. A well-written literature review addresses all six. And it is wise, as you write, to continually ask yourself, what purpose is this section or information I am including serving? Additional questions can be helpful as you read for and then write your review of literature. As you read, ask, what is already known about this topic? What patterns and disagreements appear across studies? What gaps, contradictions, or limitations are identified in studies? Or do I see in studies? Especially consider different settings and populations. Which theories, methods, and contexts dominate the literature, and which are missing? How has thinking on this topic evolved over time? As you construct your review, ask, what is the purpose of my study, and how does this inform the scope of my review? How will my study fill the identified gap? What theoretical framework underpins my work? Which methodologies have been used, and which will I adopt or adapt? For example, has the majority of the literature been qualitative and a quantitative study is needed? This is what you will do. How does my study contribute to the field? The first set of questions is really about what the field offers. The second set helps you identify your own contribution. Your review of literature is the bridge between them. Now let's talk about practical tips for reading and writing. Let me give you a practical tool when you are reading the literature review matrix. I recommend creating a simple spreadsheet to keep all the information for the articles you review organized. Here are some details. I suggest that you capture them for every source. Citations formatted in the style for your discipline. Research questions. What did the study ask? Theoretical framework. What lens did the authors use? Sample and context. Who, where, when, how many. Method. What was the methodology, design, data collection, and analysis? Key findings. 2 or 3 sentences in your own words. Limitations and gaps. What did the authors acknowledge and what they did not? Relevance to your study. Why this article matters for your argument. By the time you have filled in this matrix for 30 or 40 papers, the themes of your review will be visible in the columns themselves. Now, let's talk about 4 practical organizing strategies for your review of literature. First is thematic. This is when you group studies by theme or concept. This is best when literature clusters around shared ideas. The chronological approach is tracing the development of ideas over time. This is useful when the field has clearly evolved or when historical context matters to the argument. With the methodological approach, you group your information by research design or method, which is useful when methodological debates are central to your contribution. For example, if you are proposing a new method or critiquing an entrenched one. Finally, there is the theoretical approach, in which you group by theoretical framework or school of thought. It is useful when competing theories shape the field and your study takes a position among them. Pick one and commit to it. Mixing strategies can confuse you and your readers. Finally, let's end with 5 practical steps for moving from your notes to a literature review draft. Cluster, do not list. Group sources by theme. Resist the urge to summarize one paper at a time. Write thematic paragraphs. Each paragraph should advance a claim supported by multiple sources. Use signposts. Tell the reader where they are. For example, research on X has converged on. However, work on Y reveals. Close with the gap. End your review by naming the gap your study will address. Cite responsibly. Quote sparingly. Paraphrase with care. Check every citation against the original source. Use seminal sources where appropriate, but the majority of your review should contain literature no more than 5 years old. These 5 steps are the difference between a chapter that summarizes and one that argues a position within it. A successful literature review is not a long summary. It is an argument. It tells the reader what the field knows, what it does not, and why your study matters. Next. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Navigating the Doctoral Journey's Quick Tips and Strategies. For more episodes and resources, visit thedoctoraljourney.com. I will see you in the next one.